So we get started. Now this is our seventh unit. Right? This is our seventh unit. That is money and the financial institutions. Right? Money and the financial institutions. So under this level, we will be covering certain areas. What are the areas? We will be looking into what money is, what is the what do you call the content, right? What is the what are the components of our financial system in Sri Lanka, right? We will be discussing about certain financial organizations, right? Regarding those. Now, starting with the basic question. So this question was given there in the first lesson. What money is? Oh, right? So that was the question. What is money? Money can everyone wants money, right? Yes. Yes. Dan biasanya kan mana nih hari kita coba hari business saya sekarang yang kita nama ya doing some kind of particular right we are studying now to find what is particular right. So what is this? Money is right. Then money in definition के कन्वर्जन करने हैं निका money क्या है? Right when you call it money, you need to have some keywords. Then even when I check your papers, right? When I check your papers, some mistake that you have done is you have not written the keywords. The keywords here will be done or from there may right? Okay, that means maybe you have written the idea, right? You have written the idea. The franchise can have one franchise idea the but the franchise na idea का एनोट keywords थी एक keywords ने franchise या तो काउ डिजाइन franchise की नंबर देखना है agreement का क्या करना है brand name business business model ये बहुत नहीं right देखा मनी याद करना right when it comes to money right if they are asking for definition what money is you need to have some keywords the first keyword is money is something which is commonly accepted. Money is something which is commonly accepted. Method, method pandaha timbol, pandaha nyada, pandaha, water pandaha, nyada pandaha. Right? Everyone believes that this is a 5,000 rupee note. Right? So that means it is commonly accepted by everyone. So that is commonly accepted. Keyword then given. Then, mamme tira quality value of tira, right? 5,000 kilo double tira. What is that? Very important. Ara, sorry, udah value of tira. What do you call this value? The face value, right? There's a face value for this. Right? There's a face value for a particular note. 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 2,000 rupees, face value. So you need to have that. Money is something which has value. Right? And then why do you use it? Why do you use it? Money. Money is for the exchange purpose. So money is something which is commonly accepted that has a value and used for the medium of exchange, right? Medium of exchange. So main keywords for that, right? If you don't have this keywords in your definition, then the answer will not be correct. Right? The definition of first lesson, right? First lesson definition. Okay. So here I have given money. It is anything which is commonly accepted, which has a value and used as a medium of exchange in the process of buying and selling goods and services. Right. So that is what money is. Now, quick reminder: what are the stages of evolution of money? What are the stages of evolution of money? First one, commodity money. Then, number two, after commodity money fails, we started to use materials. Metallic pieces, right? We started to use metallic pieces. Then, after metallic pieces, we started to use metal money, right? We started to use it as money, like metal money, coins, metal money. Then after that, we started to use notes and coins, right? We have started use notes and coins. Then after notes and coins, we started a bank money. And then after bank money, we started use e-money, right? We started use e-money. Bank money can be another. So balances of current account, right? This is the current account. We call it as bank money. Right? What is the first lesson? Now look at this. Money has two main functions, right? Money has two main functions. That is the primary function and then the secondary function. Right? Money is of two types, but has two functions. That is the primary function and the secondary function. Primary functions there are two, right? There are two primary functions. One is the medium of x. It is used as a medium of exchange. That means explain current explain current formula. So money, two functions, there are primary, secondary. Medium of exchange, then but the medium of exchange and it is used as a unit of measure, right? And then secondary functions there are two. One is the store of value. Store of value. Standard of deferred payment. It is medium of exchange, unit of measure, right? Secondary now, store of value and standard of deferred payment. Now what is medium of exchange, right? Medium of exchange means we use money for the purpose of executing, right? We use money for the purpose of unmaking. Okay, then one can in the word. Gold. Gold, look at this. Gold can be this. Gold. Gold can be the right? Very small. Hi. Now. Medium of exchange basically means we use money or something related to money for the purpose of exchanging a good or a service. Unit of measure, what is that? Unit of measure. We use money to measure the value of a particular product. Again, then we market content, right? We use money to measure. Right? उसे किया लेवल मारते सब किया ना मारना है 5 feet 6 feet का सब किया like किलो दिया क्या वो किलोमीटर का किया but when you ask about the product can give I'll just 50 rupees 100 rupees का value back so that you call money is used as a unit of measure. So these are the two primary functions. In the exam if they ask you to explain this right explain करना people explain करना definition करना keyword right? Medium of exchange क्या नहीं? Unit of measure क्या नहीं? इधर इधर आके इधर पा क्या दे? Example दे दो उधर, right? You right? Why you put examples? Why you write examples? Examples are to show that you know the thing. हम definition इतना काम करना कर रहे हैं. हम subject का इधर बना रहे हैं. Unit of measure क्या नहीं? हम done. You have to prove yourself. So you have example to each. Okay. And then store value. Can you store money? Yes, you can, right? Then अभी रात तो हाथ से बैंक अकाउंट के कितना किया था? लास्ट दिन बात किया था आज दिन. Right? Cash stored, right? Cash stored. So that is stored value. Okay. Then does the value of this money change? Does this right? This stored value. Does this value of money change? The face value of the money doesn't change, right? The face value of the money does not change, but the real value will change. Why? Due to what? The real value of money will change due to what? Or I haven't done there. The real wealth, what is real wealth? Economic students. What is real income? Huh? Real income means the amount of money. Real income means the amount of goods and services that you can purchase with whatever your income is, right? Your income is 50,000. But out of 50,000, how many goods and services can you buy? That is your real income. Same applies here, right? Same thing applies here. The value of the note is 5,000. Low income, 1,000. Yeah, income 5,000 better. But the out the having 1,000. So at that maybe after 10 years of time there will be like 50,000 notes there. But due to what? Due to inflation. Like due to inflation, the amount of goods and services that you can buy from a particular note will decrease. That because the real value of money is increasing. So store value, you can store the money. You can store the money in your savings. And there are store and back there are store and standard of deferred payment. What is standard of deferred payment? Deferred payment, right? I am promising. So here again, right? Something like Saturday. Something like Saturday. Tracking product data. Amish again. I hit the killer. What is that? My item back then. Right? I am telling I will pay you money. Right? I am telling you I'll pay you money on a particular day. So that means I'm promising. So this promise is what we call it is used as standard of deferred payment. I'm promising tomorrow I will pay you money. Right? I'm heading over policy. Tomorrow I will pay you money. So that means I'm promising on the basis of money. And this is what we call the standard of deferred payment. Okay. So that is the basic functions. Is this clear, Marina? Aisha? Okay.
Can you tell about the unit of measure? Then explain that.
Unit of measure. Unit of measure is we use money to measure the value of a product. Now, if someone asks what is the height, you can give it in feet. Like I am 5 feet, 6 feet, feet per feet. But when you ask what is the value of this product, you will tell this is 100 rupees, 120 rupees. We'll give a price. So we are using money to value certain products. That is why we call the unit of measure. We are using money as a standard unit to measure the value of certain things. But, okay. The next is regarding types of money. Then let's start again. This is the evolution of money. Now, when the examiner asks, what is the evolution of money, you have to write this. If the examiner asks, what are the types of money, then you have to write. Malwala liyan neva, right? Dekama types ne, dekama names again, malwala liyan. Okay. First one, currency money. These are the physical notes and coins issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka that are legally accepted and widely used for day-to-day transactions. Tell me who is printing currency? Right. CBS, right? CBS. Central Bank of Sri Lanka, they have the authority. Right? They have the authority to print money. But they are not printing, they are outsourcing. Right? They are giving it to someone. Right? They are giving the authority to print money to a particular company. Right? So a particular company they give it. What is this company? Dila, right? Dila is the right. Dila is the one who is responsible in printing money. Right? So that is the name of the company that is printing, right? That would be the border state, the border state, okay. So Dila, who is the company which is responsible for printing. So who is responsible for minting coins? Coins mint card. काफी अच्छा है यार एक बार राइट एक गाना काफी लग रहा है राइट नाउ बात कर रहे हो so who is responsible in printing money sorry minting coins साली थोड़ा प्रिंट करना काफी प्रिंट करना MINT हाँ who is responsible that is the Royal Dutch in fact the Dutch Mint is the one which is responsible for minting Sri coins I don't know I can't spell it Russian market, who have productive, I can't tell you. I can't pronounce it. Right? Okay. But by the way, I have given those things in the theory book. Theory book, you know, answer. And can't never one. Yeah, yes, right. The next one is bank money. This refers to the balances of commercial banks, specifically the balance of held by the general public in current account. Now, do we take savings and fixed deposits as bank money? Savings and fixed deposits, bank money. No. What are they? Savings and fixed deposits are what type of money? They are debt related. Bank money the balances of current account. Savings and fixed deposit given bank money. Those are called as EMI, right? Bank money means the balance of the current account. Fixed deposit and savings, they are considered as EMI. So these are highly liquid financial assets that are not in cash terms themselves, but can be quickly or easily converted into cash without a significant, right? Without significant loss, we can convert them into cash. Then, what is the category? Bank paying about the loss when you take money out, do you lose something? Right? Significant loss right? Sometimes my account last year, 18 withdraw. Withdraw the loss when I withdraw from the ATM, they will deduct some amount of money, 25 rupees or 5 rupees, 25. For the transaction, they charge 25. So that means I do have a loss there. Like my money is in the bank, but when I convert that money to cash, I do lose an amount of money. When I am withdrawing from the ATM, sometimes 5 rupees or 25 rupees, I get deducted, right? So that means I lose an amount of money there. Any money that exists in the banking systems and is exchanged electronically. It is originated from digital technology and is often accessed through plastic cards or software applications. Right? So that is what we call electronic money. So those are the basic things regarding what money is. And then we go on to the complex area that is the components of the financial system. So far so good, right? Okay. Questions अब पास से लेके आगे का चलेगा तो एक तो आगे इधर का सेकंड देगा तो पास पेपर्स बड़ा क्वेश्चंस मेरे को देंगे अबिल्ला ठीक है राइट ये बड़ा दिखता है मतलब क्या है तो देयर वर अराउंड 70 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ सब्जेक्ट एंड आफ्टर मेरा 70 है सिंपल था ना मतलब तरह देना राइट it was take so there are 45 questions. सामान्य मेडिकल देने के लिए questions. The higher power it's right here. Okay. मेरे साथ लगे 48% कराए देगा question. the content, right? Now, by this you can determine the pattern, right? Can questions are the base all pattern model is focus right? Particular questions are the particular balan the even in your paper you will get question more from this lesson, right? And then also about regarding the fourth lesson. Fourth lesson making seventh lesson making first two will third they can five you will get like one or two questions there, right? So maximum it are sometimes first five and six are questions they are it it are sometimes it's not right? Patterns are there. Now we will be moving on to the components. Right? Components of the financial system instrument, right? Components of the financial system instrument. Now, here we'll be dividing the financial system of a country into five particular parts. That is the financial institutions, financial tools, financial infrastructure, financial market, and the CDS. Right? So those are the five components. Main components making question right? There can be question from this. What are the five components of the finance system of a country? Now we'll be going through each, right? We'll be going through each components. But before that, may come back to five components, right? Components let me එකපාර පහක් කරාම මතක් වෙන්නේ නැති වෙන නිසා මම මේ ටිකක් ලියා ගන්න දෙන්න right I just give you right some examples on this when it comes to financial institutions what are things that come to your minds short form the other right if it is financial institution but do we have institutions examples can you have LSBs. LSB can have license specialized debt, right? LSB, you have LSBs. Then you have LCB, that is license commercial debts, right? License specialized bank, license commercial banks, right? You have the broker firms, right? You have primary dealers. Right? So those are the institutions that you have in the financial context of Sri Lanka, right? LSB, LCB, broker firms, primary dealer, stock brokers, credit rating agencies, everyone are there. Okay, if I can refer you of TLPOs for those. Then financial tools. What are the tools there? Analytical tools. What are tools that we have? I have the treasury bills, treasury bonds, right? Treasury bills, bonds, shares, debentures. Those are your tools that you have when it comes to the financial system, right? Those are financial tools. Then infrastructure. Financial infrastructure. What is infrastructure? The systems, right? Nothing systems. Financial infrastructure example. Financial infrastructure examples. Financial last day. Okay. Nothing. Financial infrastructure. cash transfer run useful systems. Again, now they want to cash transfer. Online transfer, online transfer system a systems if I am transferring less than 5 million, I have a system. If I have transfer more than 5 million, I have a system. If I am like treasury bills and bonds to record those, that's a system. If I am transferring money instantly, for that I have systems. If I am transferring money globally, for that I have a system. Those are the infrastructure. Not the slips. Capital letter. Slips, RTGS, SSDS, set, SWIFT, right? And slips are easy as a base set. Syllabus, right? So those are some systems that we use. Now the slips can. What is slips? Sri Lanka Interbank Payment System. RTGS, real time gross settlement system. SSDS, scriptless security depository system. That common exchange, like common exchange and financial transaction arrangement. Like Swift is commercial wealth market. I can't remember, right? And CIDS is check image truncation system, right? So those are things, okay. So those are some financial infrastructure. So those are financial infrastructure that we have, right? Financial infrastructure that we have when we which you use to transfer money, right? So maybe we have a deal, right? Maybe we have a deal, but okay. So you have it something here, right? Right. In the page 9 you have it, right? Page 9 you have that. Uh, this is SEPT's common electronic fund transfer. So it means Society for Worldwide Internet Financial Telecommunication. This is the image translation system. Right? Now we'll go back to the markets, right? Under financial systems, you have markets. What are the markets that you have? Financial markets. There is a market for commercial, right? A bank can get a short-term loan from another bank. What do you call it? If Sampath Bank has a problem with the liquidity issue, and liquidity issue for Sampath Bank, they can call HNB and get money. What do you call that market? Huh? What do you call it? Interbank, interbank, and interbank, call money market. Right? Interbank call money market. So those are some financial markets that we have. Then interbank call money market. Then you have the capital market, right? You have the capital market. Capital markets, stock markets, right? Capital markets. Then you have the money market, right? Money market is where you will have your fixed deposits, right? Treasury bills, bonds, money market, right? So those are something that you can have under market. Interbank or money market. Interbank or money market, capital market. Money market. Five. Internet or money, capital market, money market. Those are some of the financial markets that we have. Okay. Then we will move on to the next page, that is the classification of financial institutions. Right? Now we are going to classify this financial institution. Right? Financial institutions are going to be classified. Now, in your theory view, I have given you this in a flow chart and flow chart like I given it there. But the flow chart and the table, right? So the financial institutions, it is divided into four categories, right? It is divided into four categories. That is the banking sector, institutions that accept deposits, specialized financial institutions, and contractual savings institutions. Under each of these, you have some particular financial institutes. So the thing is, you have to remember what are they. Example, contractual saving institutions right? Institutes that accept deposits so you have to make sure that you know these things. Okay? I'll come there. Right. So under banking sector, right? Under banking sector, you have the LSB, right? The central bank, the commercial banks, right? Those are the things that comes under the banking sector. Now, when comes to the Lanka Bank Paddhati, right? Lanka Bank Paddhati, what we have is the central bank, the commercial banks, and the specialized bank. Give me examples for each central bank and the central bank. Anything else? Give me an example for LSB and commercial. Amisha, give me an example for LSB. Follow. Huh? Like, license specialized bank, license commercial bank. Give me an example. What is the difference between these two? LSB and commercial bank, right? LSB and LCB. What is the difference? In LSB, and in LCB, right? In licensed commercial banks, right? Now, licensed commercial banks, you are able to open current account, right? You are able to open current. In licensed specialized bank, you are able to do, right? Government able to open current. HL. What are the other differences? Any difference in licensed commercial banks can do foreign currency transactions. When it comes to LSP, you can't do foreign currency transactions. Okay. Now give me examples. Commercial banks, certain examples, and LSP is one example. Commercial is very easy. HNB, Samvad, commercial, BOC, those are commercial banks. LSB, NTB. NTB is a commercial. Nation Trust Bank is a commercial. Yeah, almost there. NTB, that is also commercial. HSB is also commercial. HSB is a foreign bank. That is also commercial. What else? NSB, National Savings Bank. Right? National Savings Bank that comes under what? LSB. Okay, yeah, you can't open current accounts or you can't do foreign currency transaction. Now, the MCQ MCQ, in the MCQ, they will give NDB, NTB, NSB. They lie out of this. Which one is not the is not the lies recommended. NSB is not the commercial bank. Okay. Now, maybe in your tube, sorry, in your tube, what? DFCC का I think DFCC का not in your syllabus I think right syllabus I think DFCC is also not the commercial bank but now it is a commercial bank देखा इसको मैंने देखा इनको mistake किया करता ये दस साल हिंदी है right यहाँ पे बदल time periods right but now we not that but technology में लगा था I take a comment was that they take a you take a month to any and I take another game right but then and then we have institutions that accept deposits licensed finance companies cooperative rural banks thrift and credit cooperative societies right so those are right those are what institutes that accept deposits. Now, licensed finance companies are the example statement. Okay. Finance companies are the Allianz, Mercantile, then LOLC, then LB Finance, right? So those are some financial or finance institutes, right? Those are some registered finance institutes. And then you have cooperative rural banks. Cooperative rural bank क्या माने कि cooperative rural banks. RDB देना था समस्या देना right RDB समस्या now even like when you go to the bus stand is the RDB bus stand is the उदाहरण है हमारे RDB right so those are rectangular cooperative societies. Okay. And then we move on the specialized financial institutions, instructions building instructions and institutions. So after specialized financial institutions, we have specialized financial leasing companies, right? Financial leasing companies are not leasing companies, People's Leasing, LOLC, right? Asia Assets, right? Those are Allianz, those are leasing companies that we primary dealers can card. What primary dealers? Primary dealers. Primary dealers. What is it? Primary dealers. Primary dealers can card. What? Primary dealers are the ones who is authorized by the central bank to purchase, but primary dealers are the ones who is authorized by the CBSL to purchase treasury bills and bonds from the central bank and the CBSL. Dengan masih kian nih, kalau kita ingat sudah CBSL, there is primary dealer, and then there is the investor, right? Investor can't directly buy from CBSL. First who purchases the primary dealers, and then there are unit trust, market intermediaries, venture capital companies, on a contractual saving they have insurance, EPF, ATF, other pension funds. Provident funds, right? Those are some examples that you have under contractual saving schemes. That you are after leader. Now, for In general, you have EPF, ETF take up T1. And now when it comes to the private sector, right? Private sector කියන්නේ not every sorry not every සමහර sole businesses team කලින් උදේට businesses team කියනවා if I make my own business මට EPF ETF කැටනවා I'm not paying EPF ETF right for my employees I'm paying for my employees I'm paying but if I'm making my own business I'm not paying EPF ETF credit so one option that you have is you can create your own EPF ETF fund you can also specialized EPF ETF fund එකක් හදාගන්න පුළුවන් වාරයකට ඒතකොට ඒක වලට ඒක ඩිපොසිට් කරලා වාගේ personal EPF ETF එකක් maintain කරගෙන යන්න okay so that is something else right දැන් අපි මුද fully adhere කරන කට්ටියට EPF ETF එකක් ගන්න so යාලට අපිට පුළුවන් privately ආදාර ගන්න right can have something separate now we will move on so the central bank එක කරලා අපි structure කරලා now in your theory tube you මෙතන තියෙනවා නේද institutions we go through each and every institute and we note එකේ ඔක්කොම ටික discuss වෙන්නේ right important areas කියලා ගත්තේ but in your theory tube you have to go through all of these institutions so make sure to read your theory tube සලා මේ සමහර points මේක දාලා right points ටික theory tube එකේ බලලා discuss කරගන්න because එතන මොකක්ද තේරුම් නැත්නම් program message එකක් දාලා දෙන්න explain කරන්න. Okay. The next one is the central bank. Right. So even for the when it comes to the central bank, you have a act. What is the act?
Taking the
Can go with the central bank. No issue. You have to finish your A level, then you have to get your degree related to it, and then you can go for administrative central bank exams. Exams complete all the right? Finance related, right? Administration related, so Sundaram, money is like money has like okay. So now when it comes to central bank, you have a act. What is the act? Monetary act. There is monetary act. Right? Monetary act number. 90. Monetary act. In year. What is that? What is the year? 90. It is monetary act. If I can not mistaken, it is monetary act now. Now the 1949. Like 1949 or 1950, right? 1949 and 1952 are right? So 1942 and 1952. 1940. It was created after the independence. So it came after the independence.
1949.
49. 1949. After the independence it came 1949. And the central bank was established in 52. Right? Central bank was established in 52, then was in 49. How many dollars I have to keep in mind? Huh? 50. Right, 1950. Under one period. Okay, date of 1949. Right, so it was in 1950. Right now. Right. So those things are included in the theory, right? Theory take what is included in so the sometimes exam again and fill in the blank like in a central bank of established in here red under the monetary act black in the blue. But they are in the four. So malante प्रकार में फिफ्टी करता है उसे जल्दा देर में ग्रुप के एग्जाम में जाता है नोट्स के लिए लगा पाते हैं लगा देंगे इल्लेगा फिफ्टी देने हैं दिलवा फिफ्टी फोटो सिद्रा देना फिफ्टी का दिला एग्जाम में आर कलाम में के फिफ्टी दिला पास से एक अरो इधर रहता है हाँ यार केजी फिफ्टी का आते दिला आते फिफ्टी का पढ़ अरे बड़ी कई मंगा डाला बाहर में तो फिफ्टी का दिला और क्या नहीं दिला చాలా కష్టం సాలే ఇల్లు now welcome to central bank. Welcome to central bank. We have something called the monetary board, right? And the monetary board. So monetary board is consisting of, right? There are 5 people in monetary board. There are 5 people in monetary board. 3, right? Out of them, 3 are appointed by the president. 3 appointed members by the president, and then 1 is the Secretary of Ministry of Finance, and then the governor of central bank. Who is the governor of central bank right now? What is the governor? What is the governor of central bank? What is the governor of central bank? Nandalal is right. Nandalal is so Nandalal is the central bank's governor. Okay, so Nandalal is the central bank governor. The second, right? The secretary of the Secretary of Finance Ministry, right? And the 3 appointed members by the CDS. Those are the 5 people in the monetary board. Okay. The central bank has 2 main objectives. The main 2 main objectives are the if they are what are the 2 main objectives, you have to write these 2 because those are the main objectives according to the monetary act, right? According to monetary act, these are the 2 main objectives. You try to be creative, right? When you are in the exam, when you forget shit, right? You try to get creative, right? Till the other lead up by the day. Huh? Even when I see your paper, by the way, it is the 4th paper and 4th paper. 4th paper ki on average, how much number?
Answer.
On average, good at cutting. Highest marks was 90. Lowest one was something around 6. Our cutting MCQ is for 6.
Also, they made a bit.
Right. Sekarang ini kita, hey, kenapa Ah,
Seven, but anything good.
then another.
You got that.
All accelerated. All accelerated. Right. Oh, Madam. Right, you have right. First question, one page. Take it. First question, second question, third question, right? We do have better about second question. One page. First question, second question, third question. I guess sentences are going to be right. Now, हमारा एक बार आपको विषय आता है हाँ आप लोग मान लेते हैं so the objectives is there are two main objectives, that is the economic price stability and the financial system stability. Those are the two main objectives, central bank objectives there. What is economic price stability? It is to maintain the price levels of a country in a stable way. Price levels, price levels, there are two, right? To maintain like the right, we need to maintain the price stability. Stability is of two types. Right, stability is of two types. One is right. One is internal price stability, right? Internal stability, and then the external stability. Internal price stability means controlling what? Internal price stability means controlling what? The Mona? Internal price stability means not internal price stability. What are to control inside the country? To control the prices inside the country, what you have to control? The inflation deflation situation. Controlling inflation. Right, inflation deflation. Right. So that is internal price stability. Internal price stability. And then external price stability means controlling what? External price stability means controlling the dollar, right? The exchange rates. Controlling the exchange rates, maintaining a balance BOP, right? Maintaining a good balance of payment, maintaining a good exchange rate, right? So that is the external price stability, right? What are external party? Inflation deflation can mark the inflation deflation control can produce planning. What do you use to control inflation deflation? Huh? What policy? Huh? Inflation deflation control and what policy use that? Use the monetary policy, right? Use the monetary policy. That monetary policy is used to control the inflation situations in the country. And then exchange rates, right? We have to control the exchange rates and BOP. So they are required to control the exchange rate policies, the import export policies. You have to control. Yeah. Right? So that is maintaining stability. So central bank objective is to maintain a stable price level inside the country. That is economic price stability. Really? Right. The next one, financial system stability. Financial system stability. That means the central bank has to make sure the financial system of the country is running smoothly. මොනවාද බලන්න ඕන දේවල්? They have to see whether there are any scandalous finance institutions. දැන් තියෙනව නේද? ඔය ස්පෙන් කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. තමයි. pyramid schemes and right? Well, සල්ලි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න කියනවා. ඊට plant based investments තියෙනවා. right? ඒ වගේ එක දේවල් තියෙනවා which is not registered. Right? Those things are not registered financial businesses in Sri Lanka. Right? So the central bank has to make sure to monitor these and maybe take actions against these people. Okay. Even I saw an article a couple of days ago. The central bank has warned about there are 13 agri-businesses, agri-related investment businesses that seems to be a scam, right? Scam like blue. You don't know, right? Eva scam like eva invest කරන්න දාගෙන warn කරලා තියෙනවා 13 agri-related businesses. I mean agri-related business කියන්නේ යා කියනවා you invest your money to us. We will plant trees. When the plants get mature, ඒ plants එක විකුණලා අපි ඔයාලට ඉන්ටරෙස්ට් එකක් දෙනවා. අන්තිමට කියනවා ඒක අන්තිමට ඔයාලා ඉදෙන්නට පස්සේ අනිත් තරමට පස්සේ කාටත් කියලා කියන්නේ නෑ right so ඒ වගේ ඊට පස්සේ අල්ලන්නේ කියෙන්නේ නෑ ඒ අල්ලන්න ගන්නේ තාම කන්නේ එකේ සෙන්ටර් like how you got a mass flow there was one thing 1 max DD කියලා එකක් ආවා right 1 max DD කියලා එකක් ආවා central bank එකේ කිව්වා not invest මිනිස්සුන්ට කිව්වා මිනිස්සුන්ලා කියන්නේ බලගන්න කියන්නේ සාධිකාරයෙන් බලන්න අපේ ඉස්සි මොකද ගණන් ගන්න ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන කියලා අන්න 1 max DD කාරක කරේ සල්ලි තරන්න බෑ පැන්නට right after they ran away the සල්ලි දාපුවා කියන්නේ උන්ගේ ඇයි සෙන්ටරල් බැංක් ඉස්සරහා ප්‍රොටෙස්ට් කරලා නේද අපුණා මහජනතාව කියන්නේ හරියට වැළපෙන්නේ නැහැ මේ වගේ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට්ස් වැළපෙන්නේ නැහැ එහෙම කියලා ප්‍රොටෙස්ට් කරනවා අපේ නැචරල් සල්ලි අපිට දියව කියලා ප්‍රොටෙස්ට් කරනවා ඉගේ මොඩේම මොසාලි දාලා බැංකුවේ අදම්පේ කියලා සල්ලි දෙනවා පිස්සුද එපා කියන්නේ එපා නේද දාපුවා කාන්ටස් ඒක ගොඩාක් තිබ්බා right දවාලා ඒඩල්ස් ඉක්වලන්ට් වෙත්තික් මත දෙනොත් ඒක දිනක් දන්නේ නැහැ යාළුවෙක් මචං there is a business opportunity they have to invest money can stay home full fund සල්තන් දාන්න දේවා පුතා මේ ආයේ යාළුවාවක් නැහැ මුස් නැහැ හරි එතන වා ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න කියනවා මේ what you have to bring another two friends right when you come up with another two friends you will get 10% additional commission එතන මොකද කියන්නේ මුගානේ උන්දෙන් නතර උන්දෙන් දාන සල්ලි දෙන්න මාඩ වෙන්නේ අද මුගාගේ මුගිනා you also doing food උන්ද තාරුකෝ ගේට කවුරුත් නැහැ කාන්තා ඔක්කොම එක රෙජිස්ටර් කරනවා pyramid is complete when the pyramid is completed when there is no more recruits right when there is no one to recruit again it system එක fail අර යටතම ඉන්න කට්ටිය හොඳ අරික් පොක් කරනවා උඩම ඉන්න කට්ටිය සල්ලි ටිකක් අරගෙන කරනවා right so අරවල් මෙන්න මොනවාද zoom call right zoom sessions arrange කරලා කියලා දෙන්න right how to become rich right how to invest money here right when you invest money here you will get rich like this when you bring two people you will get this much of commission oh that copy at the number right क्या होती है right okay so maintaining the financial system stability economic price stability those are the two objectives of CBS okay and how are this cancelled අපේ ඩාක්ටරව අපේ ඩෝරේ නේ නෝ කරන්න පුළුවන්
දැන් අකස්ත නේද
හා
බලන්න
බලන්න නෑ අවුලි
ඒ සමහරවල් ප්‍රොබ්ලම්
උදාහරණයක් yes භාගයෙන් සුවය ඔබට
අර ගෙදරින් අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරනවා වගේ නම් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ එයාලා දුවා ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එකට ලක්ෂ 8ක් මේ 10කට ගන්න දැන් මොකද සල්ලි මාසයක් විතර ගන්නවා ඊට පස්සේ ලැබුණේ නැහැ It doesn't want to work out after me.
What is this serial? Now, okay, this one you will get through Telegram as well, right? Telegram get then another. You are supposed to do a job, right? They will send you a YouTube link or an Instagram link. You have to follow that. That's the job, right? And they pay you task basis. Or you can Telegram message. Do you want to get a job? एक job back करो 10 10 दिन. So what do you do? Okay, you know, you don't have to do anything. They just give you a YouTube link. YouTube link you subscribe करला, screenshot tag करला, यार निकला ही. When you do that, they will pay you 1,500. After the answer, YouTube channel and subscribe to it. 10 दिन and then on the next day they will get another. They will send you another message. You can increase your earnings. Right? You can increase your earnings. मेरा ये तुम्हारा jobs थी नहीं. But in order to get jobs, you have to pay 2,500. In order to keep getting jobs, you have to subscribe our service. For 1 month, it is 2,500. एक job back कर एक 10% कम में ना. 10% तीन गुना हम से job dah है कम ना, तो task dah है कम ना, पास dah. ना अगर okay ये लोग बोल रहे हैं, आरु 10% dah. आरु 10% dah ना है. Like I malah maybe they will after you deposit money, they will give you some jobs, right? YouTube channel का नाम give ना, make subscribe करना, day jobs. कि ना at the end of the week you will get the money. ये वाला जो है ना मुझे negative YouTube video subscribe करना, like करना, account करना. At the end of the week, वाला 10% है, उन दिनों की खुला दे, right? So ये लगे scams की ना. Right? So you are thinking not to get scammed. And maybe like when you sell things in Facebook के WhatsApp पे डाल लिखना है use करना तेरा phone में डाल मेरा मन जब मगे याद लिख दिया वो पारे नहीं right पारे so someone called him in the night at somewhere around 11 o'clock or somewhere around he called it हेटा इनका पारे करना tinggal. Mereka hari ini kan ada jadi itu mah advance dan ada hari advance ini back nama itu account. And both the account. And few minutes later, that guy again called and said, "Hey, what account is salary card नला में नाम लगा किलो ना, OTP नाम लगा किलो ना, can you send me?" हम लोग फोन करा ना वो ताते के account की, अन्ना OTP नाम लगा क्या है? ताते फोन करा तारा ना OTP नाम लगा आप उन्हें Ela sabia ainda né onde era né de baru क्या मानस दा अकाउंटिंग की और मुझे जल्दी ओटीपी के लिए मात्र बैग के अपने रजिस्टर है एक अंबे दिन आने बैग के अपने रजिस्टर है मानस दा कैंसिल कर तो हमने लास्ट है पढ़ाई के लिए में एग्जाम आने में तो एक ताते दिन अंदर दूसरा सेगा लेकिन फिर बाद एक मिनट आपके ओटीपी करना दिया right? Yes. So those things can help. Right. So then functions of CBS. Right. Now when it comes to functions, you can divide the functions into two types: the main functions of CBS and the agency functions. Main functions means me agency functions. What is an agent? Then who was agent. What is an agent? It's a person who works on behalf of a person, right? Agent means a person who works on behalf of the principal, right? On behalf of the principal, the agent will be working. So that is agency function. The CBS is doing certain things on behalf of the government, like on behalf of the central bank is doing certain things. We'll see what are right now. Main functions: conducting monetary policy, management of official reserves, conducting the foreign exchange policy, issue and distribution of currency. Those are the main functions that you have. Okay. The agency functions. EPF management, debt management, foreign exchange management, and facilitating financial inclusion. Now, APF fund is right. The APF fund is managed by CBS. The foreign exchange, dollars taken and it's currently CBS. Financial inclusion can have financial inclusion. That means creating short-term loans to these farmers and those stuff like farmers, agriculture business or even up here, fishery industry or even up here. Short-term loan systems arranged available, right? Student loans arranged available. So that is done by the central level, right? Our policy is state level. Public debt management. The next is public debt management. What is that? Managing the loans that has been taken by the government. Like the government has obtained local loans, right? Government has obtained foreign loans. They got the loans to manage करने का है central bank here, right? Interest given the money, we have pay interest rate. So hard money interest rate given, yeah given one. They were salary right? So those things are done by the central bank. Those are the agency functions. So there are more, right? There are more agency functions and main functions than this, right? Like I'm going to can further use for that. I'm going to do you have any questions regarding these main functions and agency functions? In this, any have to clarify? What are the part of the area? Marina? Okay. Oh, you don't want to do it. Now, huh? Exactly. Right. Conducting monetary policy, conducting foreign exchange, management of reserves, issue and distribution of currency, EPF management, public debt management, foreign exchange management, facilitating financial inclusion. Now, with that, you can move on to the questions. There are six. There are six questions. Then we have a meeting. Balance of payment. Balance of payment. DOP. Right. What is balance of payment? It is right maintaining a balance between the imports and exports, right? So in a country, right, in a country, the imports has to be less than the export, right? The number of exports that you do should be greater than the number of imports. Then you call it a positive balance of payment, right? If the exports are compared to the imports, you call it a positive view. If the exports are lower and imports are higher, you call it a negative view. But in some of the things, exports means how we earn it, and export means how Sri Lanka earns. Imports means how Sri Lanka spend. If how we earn is higher than how we spend, that is good for us. But if we spend more than what we earn, that is bad for us. Okay? So we always have target for a positive view, right? We always start with that positive view. Right. The then you can try the questions. Yes. So it was scheduled the same. Have not changed. Once they changed that, every month they changed, right? Yeah. The paragraph is good, right? The overnight policy rate of the situation was 7.5 and 5. Right, so that will be changed and we are regular not regular, but I have changed. I did the SDFR SLFR, right? Every month they change the SDFR SLFR. Now they average of community, average of average during the economic crisis that we had, financial crisis, the dollar is hardly gone. Data indicated the SDFR SLFR it was somewhere above 15. When it was above 15, 70, 80, they are the number 80. And that time, the interest rate from the bank, it went around 30%. And the interest rate is 50 or 30%. They are the kind of people. But right now, change the economic case of like SDFR SLFR rates are getting low. What states are doing in order to boost this, right? When the interest rates are lower, people will take more loan. Correct? Then spending will increase. When spending will increase, the demand sends up. Demand for the goods and services. Right? Demand what do it's the rate will be the interest rate tax. So cycle. I think when I have it dollars, because 8% of it dollars in the ball. Usually I'm buying. Years ago it was around 15% of the right now to the half. What's this? It was supposed to come is a thirty, but I read you better go have money. Emotional intelligence is
What is that?
Okay, what is money? The following are the answers given by 5 students to the above question out of this. What is the most correct answer? 5. Anything that serves as a medium of exchange and measure of value and so value. Yes, answer is number 5. Any other answers? Different answers? Nothing other than any. Match this. What are the correct matching groups of X and Y? License commercial banks nothing. You have People's Bank. Nation Development Bank. 1H and 3. 183. 183 में देखिए तो एक में चला पहले next so that is there एक pattern में आप आगे करना था अन्य pattern से giving no है but if you are unsure go for it but एक बार में आगे करना ना आए तो चेक करेंगे ना इलाज करना है 1318 is the answer so thereby the answer is number 2 third one. Following are some of the main names and the functions of the central bank. Out of the above, the functions of the central bank are. So here I have given aims and functions. I have select the functions only. What is the answer? Operating monetary policy is a function. Operating exchange rate is a function. Issuing and distributing currencies is a function, right? A, B, D. So this is answer number 5. Right? Here you know the theory. Right? Then matak kar le ne matak kar du amma mo matak kar du amma dan me ba functions me the games kila matak kar. Ita pata as soon as you go home maybe master hat kar diya but if you attack kar diya right 27 days later when you get the brand new 2026 paper how you what it is you will go black. When you remind my tools, when you remind the books that you have written, right? When you remind the paper that you are writing, everywhere you can see is a white sheet. Blur it out. You can see the page number, you can see the name, but you can't see the letters. Gets blocked through. 4. Without following is considered as DMI. PMI. The balance plus of savings account. That is the only one which is considered as EMI. All the others are electronic money and bank money. Yeah? Current account right? So that is kind of a economic term I get right economic from the right? So there is broad money supply, narrow money supply, money supply maybe changes, but if you don't have the idea, make up all the like like this. Remember, it is different, right? So there is the broad money supply, narrow money supply. Okay, differences here. Money supply. Take up the ground, make a change in it. Money the money. So, no, right? Then just remember, this one, right? Now the thing is, when it comes to savings, right? You save for the purpose of what? To save. Right? Savings are done for the saving purpose. So that is, you call it as Niyaman. Why? It is not money itself, but it is like money. Equity is not salary, but when it comes to bank money, bank credits are they are using checks too. Right. You don't have the money, they have checkbook. Right. In return for the money, you have a check. This checkbook is what you call as the bank credits are right. So yeah, concept I can also that. Right. Which of the following is from the contractual savings? Contractual savings means nothing. Which are in the contractual savings? Huh? It is. Sorry. The question has to change this. Which of the following is not the contractual thing? Which of the following is not the contractual thing? Which of the following is not the contractual thing is good? Therefore, the answer would be the specialized leasing fund. The service fund, EPF, insurance, and employee trust fund, those are contractual savings. Specialized leasing is another type. From the following, the type of financial institution that cannot accept deposits are which one cannot accept deposits? Fixed answer. Fixed out of the above statement rows, which include original type of money usage. Money that is usage currency, bank money, blood money, near money, electronic money, credit money. Which one do we use insurance? We use the currency, we use the bank, AB, B, and E. ABDE. So answer is number 2. What is black money? Then what are they? What is black money? Huh? Those are the money value. It's illegal in terms of not paying taxes. Yeah, it's also can be like one country in the from the following, what is the financial institute which cannot accept deposit? Deposit is far away than the house. No, the unit trust one. Unit trust is the answer for the 7th mark, and by unit trust you don't have deposits. That is the investment. Right? No, so you'll have the break now. Then come back at 11. 11. All right, give me a papers.
Magari fuori dentro. Dove vai? Io devo fidare. Beh, sei.
Okay, take your break. Right. Shall we start? Okay. Finish. ಮೊದಲು ಇರೋದು No, I had better things to do. Yeah. Now, the next thing that we are going to discuss under the topic money and financial institution is the commercial banks, right? So far we have discussed about the central bank. Now we are moving on to the commercial banks. Now I'm just reminding what commercial bank is, right? What can commercial bank do? Commercial banks are business banks, right, which have the permission to do foreign currency transactions and to have current accounts. In order to open a commercial bank in Sri Lanka, right, if you are a local businessman who wants to start a commercial bank in Sri Lanka, you need to have 20 billion rupees as capital. If you are a foreign bank, you need to have minimum of 10 billion rupees as capital. How much is a billion? Huh? How much is a billion? Huh? How much is a million? Over 1,000 lakhs. Do you have the understanding about what is the difference between a million and a billion? කොච්චරක් different? කොච්චරක් වෙනසක් තියෙනවද? Million and billion. Now, for example, the difference between a million and a billion. 1 million, right? For example, I will tell like this. දැන් මම ඔයාලට දවසකට 5000ක් දෙනවා. දැන් ඉල්ලන්න එපා, right? මම දවසට ඔයාලට 5000ක් දෙනවා. ඒ දවස ගානේ 5000 ඒවා මාස 6ක්, right? If I give you 5,000 rupees per day for the next 6 months, it's almost equal for 1 million. Right? Million කියන්නේ මාස 6. Million, M, right? If I give 5,000 for the next 536 years, that is a billion. Right? If I give you 5,000 rupees for the next 536, somewhere around that. එච්චර කාලයක් මම 5,000 ගන්න දුන්නොත් that is what you call 1 billion. ඕනනම් calculate කරලා බලන්න දවස ගන්න multiply කරලා අවුරුදු ගන්න multiply කරලා බලන්න කීයක් එනවද කියලා, right? So almost ඒ ගණක් එනවා. So that is in මේ money නේ, right? Maybe if you take in time, then doctor කෙනෙක් ඇවිල්ලා කියනවා Harshi, you have only 1 million seconds to live. තව 1 million seconds වලින් මැරෙනවා. සාති දෙකෙන් සෙට් අපෝච්චි. සාති දෙක finish. right? 1 million seconds කියන්නේ සති දෙකයි ඉවරයි. But doctor කෙනෙක් කියලා කියනවා Harshi, congratulations, you have 1 billion seconds to live. ඒ කියන්නේ you have 37 years to live. සති දෙකයි අවුරුදු 37යි කියන්නේ කොච්චර වෙනසද? ඒතර ඒක තමයි, that is the difference between 1 million and a billion. Right? Them. Okay. So that is the idea. You need 20 billion. You need 20 billion to start a commercial bank. So that's the idea. Hitala bala. Ambani dosa billion. Ambani Jack Ma, right? Billionaires la godak, right? So think about their wealth. So even you saw their wedding, right? Right? Okay. So that is the difference between million and billion. Now, commercial banks, you can have some types of accounts: savings accounts, fixed accounts, and current accounts, right? And then when you are discussing regarding commercial banks, you need to understand about some credit facilities that they issue, right? Some credit facilities. Nothing credit facilities, right? First one is, right, credit. Now, the credit facilities of commercial banks can be divided into two categories. One is the bank loans, right? And then the overdraft, right? The bank loans and the overdrafts. Now, we'll keep aside this bank loan. We'll discuss about overdraft. What is an overdraft? Why is it given? What is the purpose of an overdraft? Overdraft at the night. One bank again. One account again. If the current account balance, right? If the current account balance is not sufficient enough to do the payment, like while check out the thing, but if the current account balance is not good enough to make a payment, then at that instance, the bank will allow you a loan, a short-term loan. This is what you call a overdraft. This overdraft is of two types, right? The overdraft is of two types. What is that? Temporary overdraft and then permanent overdraft. Right? You have the temporary overdraft and the permanent overdraft. Temporary overdraft is given for what purposes? For how many days? Temporary overdraft is given for 90 days, right? Temporary overdraft is given for 90 days. Do we need a collateral for temporary overdrafts? No, we don't need. We are not required to have collaterals. We can get a overdraft for 90 days and what is about the interest? The interest rate for temporary overdrafts are very high. Okay, so you have to understand those things. Temporary overdraft no collateral. This is allowed for 90 days. Right, my definition right? No collateral, 90 days, and high interest. Right. So that is temporary overdraft. Again, Lorraine is giving a check to Diludi. Habai Lorraine ke account ke sal lida. Lorraine banker call kar lagina. At the moment, I don't have money in my bank account. Can you give me an OD? Right? එහෙම call කරලා pass කරගන්න එකක් තමයි temporary overdraft එකක් කියන්නේ. Right? Instantly ඔයාලට ඒක අරගන්න පුළුවන්. Okay. But the next one is the permanent overdraft. The permanent overdraft. Right? Permanent overdraft is something which is been pre-authorized. කලින්ම allocate කරලා තියෙනවා. Right? Now Lorraine එයාගේ account current account එක හදනකොටම එයා මොනවද කරන්නේ? එයාගේ ඉඩමක් collateral එකක් හැටියට තියලා මොනවද? overdraft facility එකක් අරන් තමයි දෙන්නේ. Right? 5 million overdraft facility එකක් අරන් තියෙනවා. For example, now let's say in case now දිනුනෙට check එක දෙද්දි account එකේ සල්ලි නැහැ. account එකේ සල්ලි නැත්නම් බැංකුව මෙයාට call කර ඉන්නෙත් නැහැ. ඔයා call කර ඉන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. Automatically they will allow you the overdraft facility. Right? Overdraft එක automatically දෙනවා. Why? Already you have allocated a collateral. Collateral එකක් තියෙන නිසා automatically දෙනවා. Now for this overdraft, for the permanent overdraft, the interest rate is comparatively low because we already have a collateral. Collateral එකක් තියෙන නිසා interest rate එක අඩුයි. And this overdraft short term loan, this has to be paid within 264 days, right? Within 264 days, the loan amount has to be settled. 264 days කියන්නේ කීයද? මාස 9ක් වගේනේ. මොකද්ද? හා? 10ක්ද? මාස 10ක් කියන්නේ දවස් 300 ගණන්නේ. 30යි න 30 ඒවා. මාස 9ක් වගේ, right? 9 months, right? Within 9 months we have to settle it, නේ? මාස 10ක් කියන්නේ දවස් 300 ගණන්. Okay, so you have settled within 9 months period. So that is what you call a permanent overdraft. So differentiate කරන්න කිව්වොත් දැන් differentiate කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ, right? For the permanent overdraft, do we need a collateral? Yes, we need a collateral, right? You have to have a collateral. Right? It is for 264 days. The interest rate is low interest, right? There will be lower interest rates. So those are the differences between these. Understood? Clear? And bank loans are of two different types. Bank loans උත් දැන් ජාති දෙකක් තියෙනවා, right? Bank loans උත් ජාති දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මොනවද තියෙන bank loan types? One is the commercial loans, the other one is the consumer loans. Commercial loans are given for businesses. Consumer loans are given for the personal use. කරාද? මතකයි නේ? A check, right? Now, so that is all about the loans, right? Loans are commercial loans, consumer loans, right? So we are not going in more than that. The next idea is checks. Bodak questionable point, right? Checks, crossings, endorsements, right? This is a very highly questionable area. We'll go through this. Check is a written document given by the drawer to the drawee in order to pay a particular sum to the payee, right? So how many parties are there now? 3. There are 3 main parties. Who are they? Drawer, drawee, and then payee. Right now. Drawer, drawee, and payee. So these are the 3 main parts. Apart from this, there's another one. මෙයාලට අමතර තව කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ එක්සැම්පල් එකේ මට නම කියන්න. B වලින් පටන් ගන්න. බොන් නෙමෙයි බෙයාර. The drawer, drawee, payee, and the bearer. So that is the 4th person. Now, who is the drawer? Who is the drawer? The account holder, right? The account holder is the drawer. Drawee is the bank. Payee is the person who receives the money. bearer is anyone who comes with the check. So that example is where I have written a check to Gihini, and Marina has stolen the check. And when Marina and when Marina goes to the bank to obtain cash, you are the bearer. Check එක රැගෙන එන්න. Right? Huh? දෙනවා. Right? If it is a cash check, right? If it is a cash check or if it is a bearer check, check එකේ නම තියෙන කාගේද කියන මන් වැඩක් නැහැ. check එකක් බිම දැක්ක ගමන් එහෙම මරක් ගිහලා බැංකුවට දුන්නම over the counter you can take money. So that is what you call a bearer check. All right. So we'll check this whether not තියෙන කියලා බලමු. Now when you want to write a check, you have to consider the following things. That is, you have to make sure that you are using a non-blurry ink. Gel pen වගේ use කරන්න එපා, ball point pen එකක් use කරන්න කියලා කියන්නේ. Write all the information in the counterfoil. What is the counterfoil? අම්මිෂා counterfoil එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? counterfoil කියන්නේ මොනවද? checkbook එකේ තියෙන අර side එකේ තියෙන strip එක, right? Where you write all the information related to the check, right? Right? කියන්නේ ඔයාලා check එකේ ලියන හැම විස්තරයක්ම ඒකෙත් include කරන්න ඕන. So that acts as the what? It acts as your source document නේ. For bank account, right? Bank account එක source document එක නේද? මතකද මේ accounting වල තියෙනවා. Source document for the bank. Okay. And if any mistake is there, you have to cut off with a single line and you have to place it with your signature. Tipex කරන්න යන්න, කුරුටු ගන්න යන්න, එහෙම කරන්න එපා. එතකොට check එක bounce වෙනවා. And use a single language. If you start with Sinhala, continue with Sinhala. If you start with Tamil, continue with Tamil. If you start with English, continue with English. පටන් ගන්න සිංහලෙන් පටන් අරගෙන ඉවර වෙද්දී ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් නවත්තන්න එපා. It's like telling a phone number. කොහොමද කියන්නේ? 077 බිංදුවයි 31යි. Right? You start with English and then you continue with Sinhala. එහෙම කරන්න එපා. Okay? 077 කියන්නේ සිංහල වචනයක්ද? Okay. Next, we'll move on to the types of check. Right? Checks wala types tina. One is the bearer check, right? Bearer. What is the bearer check? How to identify a bearer check? How to identify a bearer check? Bearer check ya. Lauren, bearer check ya kan tergantung. Huh? What is a bearer check? When it comes to a bearer check, that's a place where you write a name, right? Then check එකක් වැක්කම right check එක. In a check, you have the term pay here. Pay. You have blank or bearer. Right? That means when it comes to a check, අපි නමක් දාමුවා. අපි දැන් නම දානවා මේ නෑ ඕන. අපි මෝනා කියලා දාමු. Right? Pay Mona. That is the condition, right? We are supposed to pay to Mona. And if she lost the check, if she loses the check, anyone who comes with the check or bearer, we have to pay Mona or the bearer who comes with the check. This is what you call a bearer check. That make safety එකක් තියනවද? There is no safety at all. Check එක නැති වුණොත් finish, right? Most of the time we also call this type of checks as cash checks, right? ගොඩක් අය cash checks කියලා ලියන්නේ මොකද සමහර මිනිස්සු නමක් ලියන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි නම ලියන්නේ නැත්තේ? කරදරයි. මම ඉමාත් චෙක් එකක් දෙනවා, ඉමාත් දෙක අනිත් කොල්ලට දෙනවා, යා මෙයාට දෙනවා, මෙයාට අතින් අතට checks මාරුලා යනවා. Right? අන්තිමට ආයශක අතර තමයි check එක එන්නේ. ඒතර ආයශක නම මෙතන නැහැනේ. But can you take money? Can you take money? Can. Why? Because it's a cash check. You have the term cash or bearer, or else there can be a name, right? It can be Lorraine, right? Lorraine can name dala or bearer. So this is what you call a bearer check. Simply how to identify the term O bearer, right? The term O bearer is present in the check. If the term O bearer is present in the check, then you call it as a bearer check. And the next one is the order check. In an order check, the term O bearer is being cut. O bearer in a term එක අපි කපනවා. කපලා we write a name here, right? We write a name here, right? Right? We write a name, Saman. Okay? Pay Saman, that's all. Pay Saman. So එයාට කියනවා Saman ගිහලා මේ මාද account එකෙන් සල්ලි ගන්න ඕන. වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ sometimes someone wants to give this check to someone else. සමන්ගේ check එක ගිහිනට දෙන්න. right? සමන්ගේ check එක ගිහිනට දෙන්න. ගිහිනට දැන් කියලා check එකට සල්ලි ගන්න පුළුවන්ද? පුළුවන්ද? බෑ. Why? It's an order check. We have mentioned a name. We have mentioned a name. Okay, only this person is supposed to take money. Right? Now, Gihini can't obtain money. What can we do? The check එක ඉරලා ආය අලුත් check එකක් ලියනවාද? If someone wants to transfer the check to Gihini, what he has to do? He has to endorse the check. What is endorsement? What is endorsement? Endorsement. ඊට පස්සේ writing the name of the payee on the back of the check is known as endorsement. එතකොට දැන් සමන්ගේ check එක කාටද ගිහිණිගේ අතට එනවනේ. Now Gihini wants to give it to Diluni. Gihini wants to give it to Diluni. Then what happens? එතකොට කොහොමද endorse කරන්නේ? දැන් ආය සමන් කියලා ලියනවද? සමන් නෙපෙයි. සමන්ගේ නම තියෙන payee වලට. දැන් කාගේ නම ලියන්නේ? Huh? I have given a check to Saman. Saman has endorsed this check to Gihini. Gihini wants to transfer that check to Diludi. Now, according to the definition of endorsement, it says endorsement means writing the name of the payee on the back of the check in his own handwritings. Payee, who is the payee? Saman. Then Diluni, if she wants to give the check to, Gihini, if she wants to give the check to Diluni, Saman ගාඩ ගිහලා අසන් ගන්න ඕනේද? නෑ. නිකන් දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? බෑ. එහෙනම් මොනවද කරන්න ඕන? Gihini has to write her name at the back of the check. Got it? ආයාගේ නම ලියනවා. And if Diluni gives the check to Lorraine, Diluni has to write to her name. We have to write your name behind the check. ඇයි එතකොට තමයි හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් කාගෙන් කාටද මේ check එක pass වුනේ කියලා. right? මට අන්තිමට මගේ අත right Lorraine ගේ අතට check එක එන්න නම් මම සමන්ගේ අතට දුන්න මම සමන්ගේ අතට දුන්න check එක Lorraine ගේ අතට ආවේ කොහෙන්ද? right? To identify that, we are going through the endorsement list. Right? So that's what endorsement is. Okay. So order check is where the term O bearer is struck and a term order is being placed. මෙතන සමන් කියලා දාලා order කියලා අපි ලියනවා. නැත්නම් මෙතන O bearer කපලා order කියලා අපි ලියනවා. So that is what you call the order check. And now the next thing is we have to cross checks. Checks cross කරනවා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Checks cross කරනවා. Crossing of checks. Here we draw two parallel lines on the face of the check. Where do we draw? Can we in a check I can draw two parallel lines here. I can draw two parallel lines here. Here. No issue. මෙහෙම වෙන්න ඕනද? මෙහෙම බැරිද? එහෙමත් පුළුවන්. right? මෙහෙම පුළුවන්. No issue, right? Drawing two parallel lines on the face of the check is what you call as a crossing. This crossing is of two types. What are they? General crossing and the special crossing. In general crossing, what happens? You cross the check with or without a you cross the check without a bank name. You can have a statement or not, right? Statement at dana puluwan, nathawat puluwan. You should not have a bank name. But when it comes to special crossing, you need to have a name of a particular bank, right? So that is what you call a special crossing. And then we'll move on to the reasons for crossing. Why do we cross checks? By crossing checks, what happens? Yes, we'll be getting a safety for our check. What is the safety? What is the safety that we receive? Misha. Apa මොකක්ද හම්බෙන safety එක? Now, here when it comes to order checks, it is partially secure, right? Order check is partially secure. The thing is, when you give a order check to the bank, when you give a bearer check to the bank, you can get cash over the counter. Check එක දුන්නාම over the counter වාට සල්ලි හම්බෙනවා. But when it comes to a cross check, what you have to do? You have to deposit it in your bank account, right? You have to deposit the check in your bank account. Then only it will get processed and you will receive money to your bank. අතර cash හම්බෙනවද දැන්? දැන් අතර cash හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay. It gives additional safety for the check and it ensures that the pay state මම ගැහුවා කියලා ඔය මම ෆෝන් එකට ගහනවා. දැක්කනේ? Right. To ensure that the pay is stated on the check will receive its value and to prevent paying to the check at the bank account. So these are the reasons why we do a crossing. And then I have explained what endorsement is. Writing the name of the payee on the back side of the check on the same with the same handwriting is what you call check endorsement. And when depositing a check in the bank, when receiving cash from the bank for a check, and when encashing a check with no crossing over counter. For these reasons, we do endorsements. All right. And commercial banks are antim part එක තියෙන්නේ. Some other services that the commercial banks do. We have leasing, pawning, safety lockers, and agency services. Leasing and pawning දන්නවා. What is safety lockers? Safety lockers කියන්නේ මොනවාද? If you have any valuables, you can keep them in the bag. රත්තරන්. අර අම්මගේ රත්තරන් තිබ්බනේ. ඒ වගේ. Okay. So safety lockers. And then here we do have some agency services as well. Central bank එකේ agency services තිබ්බා. Commercial banks වලටත් agency services තියෙනවා. So agency services you can take purchase and sale of securities, standing orders into effect, payment of water bills and electricity bills. So those are some agency services. Right. Shall we differentiate commercial banks and central banks, right? මෙතනින් අද theory part එක නවත්තනවා. මේකෙන් පස්සේ ඔයාලා papers මේ pass paper එක කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? I'll stop the theory part from this one. ඊළඟ part එක ඊළඟ සතිය කරමු. Right? ඊළඟ තියෙන්නේ intermediaries null. We have questions to do. 40 questions, you know. Malat malat දාලා කොලයක් දාලා සමනලෙ එක්ක දාලා උඹලා නිකන් දෙකේ පන්තිය වගේ තමයි. උඹලා දෙකේ පන්තිය වගේ. Oh, ඉතින් ඉන්නාලු ඩියුටි කියලා. Right. Differentiate central bank and commercial banks. How to differentiate? Tell me a difference between the central bank and commercial bank. Difference देखिए. Hari period again, right? Central bank is acting as the banks of the bank. And when it comes to commercial banks, they are being regulated by the central bank. So the table let in commercial bank and central bank. So under commercial bank, write down first point. Being regulated by the central bank, being regulated by the central bank, being regulated by the central bank. And for central bank, you can write down acts as the banks of, sorry, acts as the bank of other banks. Acts as the bank of other banks. Now, another difference. Tell me another difference between central bank and commercial bank. Hello. Difference between central and commercial. දන්නවනේ ඔයාලා ඒවා. අපි දන්නා නම් මන් දිනනවදනේ. So, can central bank issue money? Can central bank issue money? Huh? Can. Huh? Central bank can issue money. Commercial bank, they can't issue money. Right, Mankalingiwa, the authority is with the right issuing money, right? Money issuing authority is with the central bank. Then commercial bank, can they issue money? No, they can do something else. What? They can create money. What is that? Issuing money, creating money. Difference is what? Creating money means. Hey? එන්න මම එහාට යනවා. නේද? ඔතන ඕනේ හා අපෝ. අනිත් පැත්තට මේ පැත්ත හැරෙද්දි ෆෝන් එකක් නැති මගේ. Right. Now tell me. Central bank, they can issue money. Commercial banks, they can create money. What is the difference? Issuing money means issuing notes and coins. Creating money means giving out loans, right? Loans දෙන එකට තමයි money creation කියලා කියන්නේ, right? දැන් මගේ අතේ මගේ සාක්කුවේ 1000ක් තියෙනවා. මගේ සාක්කුව 1000 ගිහිල්ලා බැංකුවට දානවා. And you guys go and ask for a loan, right, for 1000 rupees. මගේ 1000 නෙමෙයි ඔයාලට දෙන්නේ loan එකක් හැටියට. So they are creating money there. Now even I have 1000 rupees, even you have 1000 rupees. දැන් මාකට් එකේ සල්ලි 2000ක් තියෙනවා. කලින් තිබ්බේ 1000යි, දැන් 2000ක් තියෙනවා. 2000 ආයි කොහෙන්ද? By creating money. So that is the money creation. So when you are giving more loans, more money will be created in the market. So write down the difference. Central bank has the ability to issue money. Central bank. Why commercial bank has the ability to issue money. And for the commercial bank, you can write has the ability to create money. නේ හොදපු හෙදි පෙර තමයි ට්‍රැක් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. How nothing difference? Commercial banks, they accept deposits from public. Central bank, they do not accept deposit from public. For commercial bank, write down accepts deposit from public, accepts deposits from public. Commercial bank. And for the living. Oh, I don't know. What the heck? Commercial bank accepts deposits from public, and central bank do not accept deposits from public. Public. Right. So that's enough for this. We'll move on to the questions. So here you have the MCQ. Try the MCQ and fill in the blanks here. Data first say, go to the last page number 10. එතන තියෙන questions ටිකක් කරන්න ගමු. Huh? 1 to 50, 1 to 20. වෙලා තියෙනවද? වෙලා තියෙනවා. First 20. One to 20. අපි කරමු. ටික් කර මම කියන්න මොනවද කරන්න ඕන questions කියලා. මට සමහරක් කියලා තියෙනවා මෙතන උගන්නපු නැති ඒවාත් combinations තියෙනවානේ. right. ඔයාලා මුලින් MCQ එක try කරන්න. පඬිත වෙන්නේ නැතුව. වෙන පොතක් තියාගන්නනේ. කොළ කඩ කඩ අන්තිමට ඔවා මෙතන එළියට ඇද්දෝ තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. Try to maintain a book.
So like you're going to post that database. It's all posted. I message from here.
Alright. Now we will discuss the answers for the following questions. Right. What is the answer for the MCQs? Well, MCQs for the answer now. A service provided by the commercial bank for securing valuables and documents of the customers are known as safety dot. Two of the specific financial institutions are specific and special financial institutions. Specialized financial institutions given. And again, they have the entity. What did you write? None. Huh?
Financial institution.
None. Specific financial institutions. Okay, specialized financial institutions are. So what I can write primary dealers, leasing companies, shareholders, etc. Either dealers trust it. A benefit gained only by a bank through an automated banking is the ability to
Earn more
profits. While the current account holder becomes the drawer of the check, and the person whose name is written on the check becomes the payee. Following the components of an electronic card, out of this, which is contains other phase of the check. What is that? Card number, magnetic tape, a phase of the check is the thing, back of the check. That of the card number, the expiry date, and the name of the card holder. Name of the card holder, right? D. The card number and the expiry date. Magnetic tape is in the back side. Need to have, this is asking the phase of the check. Phase of the card. Card is right? Card take it. Right? So the phase of the check you have this card number card number have a debit card. Then name of the card owner, that is also there on the face of the card. And the expiry date is also on the face of the card. You got a DEF. Other BCF and BD marker, right? BDS marker, BDS marker. I can mark. I can I didn't got type I don't know closely. The Mama on the garden, the members are oh, on the garden. License commercial banks can license commercial banks can create money, but cannot issue money. Why? Right, the next one is write a statement, what is the right statement pertaining to crossing of checks? Where you can cross the check, where you not cross, where you can cancel the crossing, no. All kinds of cross checks can be transferred to another party by crossing. Cash checks can be obtained from a bank account for no. Cash checks cannot be crossed. Yes. And then recently, right now we are going to the part 2 questions. Recently, there is a rapid increase of e-money transactions. Name the e-money that are used to do transactions and explain the reasons why it's popular. So e-money is an example. Credit card, debit card, QR codes. Yeah. Why use e-money frequent? Huh? It's more efficient. Security. Then the ecological security, ecological efficiency, ecological farm killer. Right? Because one word short form mother right short notes or mother then fast in mother but when you are writing you have to write it proper. Right? Efficiency means what? Efficiency like you write efficiency in front of that you have right. Huh? No. Efficiency you can write. But the cost of the transactions are lower, thereby we use e-money. Efficiency and cost of design. Then the high security. High security data have right. Transactions are comparatively secure when doing electronic transaction. When you are electronic money, the transactions are comparatively safer than traditional methods. Convenience, right? Carrying a debit card is convenient than carrying baggage of money, right? Money baggage card right? What else? Follow. Then what are the other benefits that you get by using? What is the reason why you use debit cards, credit cards? Then for the credit card, do you get discounts? More discounts? Yes, right. Offers हम पे credit card taking purchase करना. Able to purchase on credit basis, and that is one. Able to get discounts and offers. Credit card देखना तो 50% now तीन हमारे होते. आपको बिलो का flow प्रेशर. Credit cards and debit cards are not popular. And that is it. As you know, you give the. Licensed commercial banks and licensed specialized banks. Come back. Now, again. Namne differentiate क्यों करना? Tally and table लगा क्या हुआ? क्यों है?
Sir,
Licensed commercial banks can maintain coverage. Then let's get
General banking service for all. General banking services for all. Focus on specific segments. Very good.
एक mention पर LSB का LCB के देखने के ना deposits यार देखने general banking service क्या होना है deposits आराम मारने आगे कितना मैं क्या करना
What can you give us an example?
को foreign currency transactions करना पड़ेगा in commercial bank can do foreign currency transaction in LSB you can't do foreign currency transactions in commercial banks but Pagka sila nagulang, bakit ko rin ka sila nila, parang account sila din, parang account din. Alagay checkbook क्या काम ना मेरे checkbook क्या काम है इनमें, right? Minimum capital requirement for a commercial bank is here. Well, commercial bank capital requirement 20 billion. For LSB 7.5 billion. What are the मतलब ठीक ना हाँ यार yeah we can go up to 2 what does the drove expect by passing a check? If safety calling के बाद आप पैरेंट कर लिया के बाद कौन था the to avoid the check being encashed by passing a check, we are expecting it to avoid the encashing of a check over the counter. To add security to the check. And security pass super to avoid any fraudulent activities regarding the check, like check frauds, crossing use right? To avoid check frauds. And to ensure the check is being deposited in the bank account, right? To ensure that the check is being deposited in a bank account, you are crossing to those are the what is endorsement done on it? What is the purpose of it? Is that Durga ne kalungi entire you take huh? You take they are it. You take commonly accepted is a characteristics of good money, but for money to be commonly accepted, it should have some other characteristics. You take it. You take it. You are. in order to be money called as commonly accepted, right? In order to call money as good money, what are the characteristics that you should have? Commonly accepted, durability, divisibility, acceptability, huh? Better what is there go? Math. Profit, yeah. Right. Divisibility, durability, huh? Acceptability, portability. Right. Profitability क्या Okay. Then we can explain the types of money, credit money and fiat money. What is credit money? Credit money is the credit money is the just tell me. Credit money is the short term and long term loans that are issued by commercial banks or the fiat money can fiat money. Fiat money. The currency money, right? Fiat money can currency money. The money which has been issued by the central bank. The note central bank that has been issued by the central bank is called fiat money. Currency money, I guess, yeah. Right. Higher question Right. Central bank is the monitoring body of Sri Lankan financial system. Name the aims of central bank and explain how these aims are achieved. Now, what are the aims of central bank? Economic price stability, financial system stability. How are these achieved? How economic price stability and financial system stability are achieved? One is by maybe controlling the inflation situation by conducting monetary policy. Those things can be done. And then make sure that there is proper balance of payment, that the debts of the country are managed properly, right? Debts of the public debt is managed properly, the international reserves of the country are managed properly, right? Public debt managed करला, what's the inflation managed करला, right? कम ना करना को. By monitoring financial institutions, right? Scans and monitor right? By monitoring the financial institutions, whether they are liquid or not, right? Financial institutions are liquidity maintained correctly. If the liquidity is issue, thereby finance system might break. Again, अभी उनको then हाशी गिरला या कि BOC के सारे withdraw करने हैं. Then कोई गिरा क्यों सारे नहीं? सारे नहीं कर रहे हैं. और then क्यों सारे नहीं? That means there is a liquidity issue. इधर हाशी गिरला किधर की ना बागान में बताते नॉन ना withdraw करने के सारे जो. then मैं गवर्नमेंट में की ना BOC के सारे नहीं. BOC की ना अनेक customers का इंटर सारे करना है ना. Then कोई गिरा दिल सारे नहीं गिरा. ना देखना देखो. Then कोई नोट Subsequent they are sell. It was a commercial. When they go to commercial, they also say that they don't have money to give. That means the liquidity of the banks are not good, right? Liquidity का अडुएला. Liquidity अडुएला क्या है? Bank के खाली ने. Thereby the finance system of the country will go down. So you will lose trust of, right? You will lose the trust about that, right? Banks are the trust in anything. Banks are the trust in anything. Now, salary ko medyo legal. Salary ko medyo legal. Mende, wala yo loans deal. It is the loans niya deals with nothing. Okay. So chain reaction. Eka double effect time. Eka body mistake is local effect time. Right? So you have to make sure that the financial system is properly maintained. And question 11. Here is the page of an order check. B steals this check and forges a signature and endorses it to C. And C gets and gets its value from C, who takes it in good faith. Is C a hold in due course? Give reasons for your answer. A has given a check to B and no, A got a check, right? I have given a check to A. How much check can deny? Right? And B has stolen this check. And this check has been given to C. C doesn't know that this check is stolen. B මොකද කරන්නේ? ඒකේ සිග්නේචර් එක චෙක් එකේ ගහලා දෙනවා කාටද? C. C then make a legit check comes, right? Legit check that you can have the ideal how much check that. Now can C have the money or does the C have the ownership for this check? Right there, and right there, it is not the holding due course. Why? Why? Does B has the ownership? Does B has a good title for the object? No, because B has stolen. Since B doesn't have a good title, right? B doesn't have a title, right? B doesn't hold a good title for the check, right? Thereby, check which has been given to C is also not having a good title. Again, Mama did not check it up, Lorraine, right? Lorraine के check के मोना वर्कन जो लाएगा मरीन ने मरीन का किंगे एक मोना हमने तो चेक किया केस मोना वाला ने एक हमने तो चेक किया अपनी वर्कन ग्रुप चेक किया के then मरीन ने एक चेक की आई की तीन वाली लाया एक चेक के कहता यार वाला ना देख वर्कन ग्रुप किया नहीं वाला ने legit not हमने चेक but the thing is now you are not the holding due course in this, right? So why are you not the holding due course? Because Mona has stolen. For example, check here Mona ID na. Kya ID ko? Make legal validity ke liye So because of that, that's okay. We say that there is C, right? Because of that only we say C is not the holding due course because the check has been already stolen. Even B doesn't have a good title, thereby C doesn't even have a proper title. Right? Mane answer करते दिया करना. ये का business low डाल right? ये business low करती ना maybe when you are doing high studies. चार टाइम वगैरह थी. मैं आधा सब तीनों चार टाइम वगैरह you are discussing. Business low. I will give you. Okay, write on this. No, C is not the holding due course. No, C is not the holding due course.
C is not
A holding due course. Stop. A holding due course is someone. A holding due course is someone. Good morning. holding geocology is someone who obtains a check, who obtains a check or a instrument or a instrument legally, legally, in good faith, in good faith, without any, without any knowledge of defects, without any knowledge of defects, without any knowledge of defects in the title. Come on. In this case, let me update story now. Alright, in this case, the check was stolen by B. The check was stolen by B. And that last thing you can. So the thing you know, or it fails of course. Fails of course. You can be there. Okay, there and the check was stolen by B. B has forged. B has B has forged. B has forged. 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 Forged के मतलब orang kanan kawasan kanan ya. Yes. Yeah, you also have a class. I have to go back home and I have to come back again. Right? We have forged the signature of C. Sorry, signature of A. We have forged signature of A. And even though C took the check with good faith, took the check with good faith. He cannot become a holder. He cannot become a holder. Because the check has been forged. Because the check has been forged. So that's the story. We have stolen this check and he has forged the signature of A. Thereby, C doesn't have the ownership for title for the check that is he is getting from or no when so that is holding before then the right. With that, we will stop for the day and next Sunday we will.